They're doing. Need to know
We're
what they.
live.
Hello, everybody. It's Camille, your mommy mogul. I just wanted to do this interview with my very, very good friend, LaMeel Kim Say. She's a featured video artist on creditkarma.com. She's created and developed a CPN program. And I have to say, I've actually used the CPN program. And so if you know me, you know that I don't put things out there that I haven't tried already for myself. And so I did the CPN program with her. I added a trade line, and I actually went from pretty much no credit score to a 727 in 3 months. And so I just want everyone to hear about how wonderful this program is. I wanted to share it with everybody. I wanted to make sure that everyone is exposed to this because there are some things, that some information that's out there that everyone doesn't have access to. Well, we have the access, but we just don't know about it. And you know what they say, you don't know what you don't know. So at any rate, I want to introduce you to my dear, dear friend, LaMeel Kim Say.
Hey, how you
Hey,
doing?
sweetheart. I'm good. How have you been?
Absolutely amazing.
Good. So we're broadcasting live on YouTube right now on LaMeel TV. So I'm just glad that everyone is joining in. We got people coming in. Hello, everybody. So I have a few questions that I wanted to ask LaMeel so that we can learn more about this program. So, but you know what? First, LaMeel, tell the people about yourself. Like, tell them how you came, to develop the CPM program. How did you come across this, and what was your inspiration for the CPN program?
Okay, so initially, my main focus is that when the CPM program came about, I was a life coach. And over time, I have evolved into being specifically a money coach. But I had been through a terrible divorce. Everything had been in my name. My credit was shit. And I was trying to figure out how I was going to live the life that I wanted to live with, basically like I had like a 400 credit score.
Yeah, I know. I've been there. So trust me, I understand.
So I researched some things. I bought a few programs. I got burnt because the people sold me crap and I couldn't use it. I didn't know what to do. And so between all of those things, I was able to figure out exactly what I needed to do. And once I figured it out, in like 3 months, I had a credit score of like a 760 something, right?
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, Sprint sent me a letter and was like, you have a current credit score as of whatever date that was, 3 years ago when that first video was made, of a something. And they were like, well, but because you don't have any open lines of credit, we still need you to make a deposit. But we'll give you whatever the fuck you want, basically. So that was the start of it. And then one day I turned on Periscope and I just started telling people what I did that changed my life, that had me living in the community that I absolutely adored with all of my kids, because I'm a mother of 8, and finally kind of moving into the lifestyle that I wanted to be living. And so now, fast forward 4 years later, the program has grown from this, little ebook to an online course, and I offer several different additional programs and support and education, and so people are getting a lot more for their money. But the whole motivation was that I was a single mother of 8, and I had been scammed, right? So I didn't want other people to be experiencing that. I wanted to be able to give people the information so that they could do what I had done in a shorter period of time and streamline without all of the what do you call them? Without all the speed bumps. I wanted to help other people specifically women, because that's my main objective, specifically women too, with children, to get to where they wanted to be in life, you know, with as little effort as possible.
Right. And so, also having been scammed, you know, and different things online, it was really interesting to me. And I'm just really so thankful and so glad that our paths crossed, because it really has made such an impact in my life, changing my credit score and increasing my credit score. Of course, as I had mentioned before, earlier today on my Facebook Live, that when your credit score is good, your interest rates get lower. So while you may have a fairly decent credit score, the better your credit score is, the lower your interest rates are. So, talk a little bit about what a CPN number is. Like, what does CPN stand for?
So a CPN is a credit privacy number. So what I learned in this process was that, you know, our credit is based on our social security number. But in fact, by law, we do not have to give our social security number to all of these random companies that are saying that if you give me your social, I could possibly give you some credit.
Right.
And so you know, and then as I started to read more, I realized that, you know, yes, I'm giving my social security number to employees of these companies, and they could technically, if my credit score was good, could take it. You know, identity theft about 4 years ago was like really on the rise. People,
Right.
companies were coming out with all these, you know, different things on, you know, like that guy was like, I guarantee it. Here's my social security number, because if you use our program, I guarantee nobody's going to get in. It was really on the rise at that particular time as well. So when I learned that the law is that you are not required to give your social security number to any person, any company outside of the government, and anything dealing with government assistance, government loans, government, anything associated with the government, and there's a way to protect yourself, it really sparked my interest. And then when I realized that a lot of celebrities were using this technique, because technically, think about it, if Mariah Carey comes into Pottery Barn, right, and she's like, I want all of this, right? So, and then she goes, well, can I open a card? And is she gonna really give the chick standing behind the cashier, the cashier at the cash register, her social security number? No.
Exactly. It really just would make sense for that to be the case. And so I know that you probably hear this question a lot, you know, in your line of work, especially working with credit protection numbers. And of course, especially working with doing a lot of your marketing and your research and things online. How do you answer the question of, oh, this sounds like it would be fraud. This sounds like it would be a scam. How do you address that with your clients?
Right. There's a lot of people like I was that was scammed, right?
Right.
And when they got scammed, they stopped there. This is bullshit, they say. People come to my videos even now and say, this is a scam. But there are laws, very specific laws that govern a CPN. And when you join my programs, I give you those laws in detail so that you can investigate them yourself. But you are not required by law. There are things that you can't do. You can't create multiple, you know, CPN numbers and use it to develop credit and gain things that you in turn don't pay for, right?
Right.
You can't use a CPN number to then try to slightly change your identity with the government. That's fraud.
Right.
You
Right.
can't. Some companies are out there giving what they call a quote unquote CPN number.
Right. And
But what
I've actually run into that, where companies are just giving out a CPN number. You know, I have some friends that have told me that they got a CPN number. They don't get any support once they get it. They just kind of, the company just threw the CPN number at them at a very, very high cost and just kind of left them high and dry without even knowing if this number was a valid number or if this number was usable.
Right, and that's a really good point. So sometimes there are companies out there that are giving the social security numbers of deceased people. They are giving you children's social security numbers. That is not what we do. So we show people, and here's the thing, this is where I feel like the power is when, you know, knowledge is power, right?
Right, and
So my
applied
program,
knowledge is even better.
I show people how to create their own CPN, how to validate it. Validate it means that how to make sure this is not a dead person's number, how to make sure this is not a child's number, how to make sure the Social Security office has not, our administration has not issued this number. And then to ensure that it's not currently associated with a person who, you know, someone else who may have gotten a CPN number. Because that's key. When you do that, when, you know, you've got a person who developed a CPN number, has fully built it out, right, and is living on it, and then by chance you come up with the same number and you try, well, yeah, you try to use it, that it becomes another form of fraud. You know, when you're using dead people's socials, that's fraud. When you're using children's socials, that's fraud. If you use your CPN number correctly, according to the federal laws, it is completely and totally legal. You won't have any problems. You will have access to credit. That is all the CPN is designed for, is to allow you to protect your social and still have access to credit with other companies.
So I just want to talk a little bit about how I've been able to use the CPN number. As I have the CPN number, I'm also working on getting my Social Security number credit score in line. And so, Amil, can you talk a little bit about how, you know, that works, how people are able to do that?
So when you get a CPN with any company, if it's a good CPN, you have zero credit. It's like you turn 16, you get a job, and your mom says, here's your Social Security card, go get your first job, you have zero credit, and that's it. So getting a CPN is very much like that. And the build out that we do is associating it with you and creating some credit, lines of credit that are associated with you.
Right. So can you tell us about, I'm so really, really excited about this new program that you have, because when I did the CPN program, I kind of went the do-it-yourself route. And so, as I said, it took me about 3 months, but I will say that I dragged my feet a little bit. I didn't, you know, follow through. But what I will say is that I did follow the directions completely and fully. I did everything in line. I did everything in order, and I was able to get this CPN number with a relatively good credit score within the span of about 3 months. And so I'm really, really excited to share with other people about your new VIP program and some of the other programs that you have. But can you tell us first about the VIP CPN program? Like, what do people get when they join the CPN, the VIP program?
Okay, so when I first did this, right, I put together this PDF.
Oh, I think I'm losing you. I don't have any audio for you in this moment. Are you able to hear me?
I can hear you. I see that I'm completely frozen.
Oh, okay. I hear you now, but yes, I do still
Okay.
hear you as frozen.
I was just putting in my computer because it was dying on me. Okay, there we go. All right.
Awesome.
So I had this PDF, and you would go online, you'd buy it, you download it, you follow the steps, right? And you did it yourself. And that was working great. It worked great for several years. But what I realized was that there were some people that, for whatever reason, didn't have the time, were not older people who were not as necessarily computer savvy, or whatever the situation was. There was a need for us to, for my office to really do it for them. And
so you still offer that do-it-yourself program as well?
do. For young people who are very computer savvy, who can read and watch videos and follow instructions with no issues, it's a great price point. It's a great program. I make several upgrades to that program. I make several upgrades. Like it's about to be April, right?
Yes.
So this year alone, there's probably been like 3 or 4 upgrades to that program.
Right.
So I upgrade it as soon as I get new information, new content, anything that's going to benefit my clients. I do upgrade the programs. And if they do the do-it-yourself, you get all that information. So for people who don't have the time or not as computer savvy, there's a VIP program. And with a VIP program, you know, our office will generate the number for you. We validate the number with 4 different sources to ensure that the number is not currently being used by someone else and is not associated with anyone else. And then we go through the process to associate that number with you, so that if a company, you call in or you fill out a form online and you want credit, what they're going to get is your information associated with that number, right? Once it's associated with that number, we actually do 2 applications, one of which is designed for you to get denied for, because it creates a hard pull on your credit report and it helps to associate the number to you. The other is an actual line of credit. Then we recommend, and we give all the information. It's recommended strongly that my clients do the self-lender program, because it when we're done, you then have a line of credit, you have a number that's associated with you, and you have a loan that is associated with you and your CPN number. And at that point, you can move forward in life and apply for apartments and utilities and other credit cards, and buy a car and whatever it is you want to do, because at that point your credit score is usually in the low 7s to high 7s. Takes about 3 months for everything to kind of take effect. It only takes about 10 to 15 business days for my company to do this for you. But in 3 months, whether you add what we call a trade line or not, you definitely have a high level of credit that you can use and move forward with in life, and kind of have access to the things that you've always been dreaming of.
So that's really, really exciting. But what I'm also really, really stoked about is the 2 new programs that you've added to your system. And by the way, anybody that wants to go and check out what LaMeel Kimsey has to offer, please feel free to go to the website. Her website is LaMeel.com. She's got a lot of information there. She's very, very big on educating her clients and giving a lot of free value away. I mean, she's giving out a lot of information. She's doing a lot of educating right there on her site at LaMeel.com. She is more than happy to share that information with people. So please, please, please do yourself a favor. Go to LaMeel.com and check out the information. But tell us about these 2 new programs that you have. I'm so excited about them.
Okay, so in my original video, I tell everybody, this is how I got like an 800 plus credit score, right? I use a CPN. And then I tell you that I used the credit that I had access, the credit the cards, the loans, things that I was finally able to get access to in terms of funds to clear up my personal social security number. So really, it is ideal that if you're getting a CPN, the CPN allows you some almost immediate financial freedom.
Right. It gives you that breathing space that you need in order to kind of get your social security number, credit score in order while you're still able to live day to day and use the credit
Exactly.
CPN number for the credit that you need in your daily life.
Exactly. So I recommend that people who need a CPN, they get the CPN, and in 3 months, that's what you're living off of. That's the number you're giving out to everybody, so that you can then focus on getting your personal social security number and that credit associated with that to the 800s, right? Without having to use it, to having hard pulls and all that kind of stuff. You're using your CPN to live on, and now we're going to fix your credit. So in that video, I talk about how I did that. I got to almost an 800 credit score, and then I used what I had access to fix my social security number. And so finally, the new program is kind of revealing how I did that. Now, mind you, I am not a credit repair service. And when you go to my site, there are a lot of credit, manifesting credit programs. I think now I have 5, okay? But the reason is that I understand that when I'm coaching people and I'm working with people on wanting to bring more money in their lives, the society standard is that you've got to have good credit. And it's very hard for me to work with clients one-on-one about manifesting more money if their credit is bad, because that's what they have become accustomed to associating with, how I'm going to get more money, how I'm going to get access to things is credit. And that's why those programs are available. So the new program is called Clear Credit. Okay, that's one of them, Clear Credit. And it exposes, and I share my secrets on how I cleared my personal credit so that I had not 1, but 2, I had my CPN and my social security number at a 800 level, so that I had access to a whole lot of credit that most people don't have. So now I'm teaching other people how to do that. So this new program shows you how to clear all credit debt, student loans, bankruptcies, judgments, which are terrible to have. Anything on your credit report can be cleared. Most people don't know that when you have multiple, like a million different mailing addresses on your credit report, that counts against you. So how to get those extra mailing addresses off of your report? And sometimes they're not even your addresses, right? So how do you get that? How do you get those inquiries? Because when other people, and this is what they do to you, creditors, like when you owe a company, right? When the collection company sells your debt to a new company, the new company will do a hard pull on your credit. It makes your credit score plummet.
And so those are things that they're able to do without even your knowledge. Like you wouldn't even know that was happening if, that someone
Exactly.
had sold your credit, your debt, sold
Exactly.
your debt, and then they're actually making hard pulls on your credit score.
Exactly. So the new company makes a hard pull, right? And then they go to the court and file a judgment against you, even though this debt is already 6 years old, which should technically fall off the following year. It's been added again with the new company. These companies have all these crazy underhanded techniques to really be able to get a hold of you and your credit score for long
And so
periods of
this is
time.
how we're being kept kind of in a credit loop where, or even a
Exactly.
bad credit loop where, you know, as soon as you think that you're going to be getting out of this situation, what's happening is, oh, we're going to go ahead and do another hard pull. We're going to go ahead and really pretty much start this debt all over again. When, as you say, there was something that should have already been dropping
Fall
off
off.
fairly soon. And
Exactly.
so I'm really, really excited. Tell us about the first 30 days in the Clear Credit program. I'm so
Right.
stoked.
So in the Clear Credit program, the first 30 days minimum, most of the people in our initial test groups and new clients thereafter are seeing like 170, 165 point increase in their credit score. And so if you're somebody who's like in the 500s or the low 600s, oh my God, that makes all the difference in the world and what you have access to. So the way that this program works, and is because there are two laws that pretty much govern your credit score, credit reporting, right? Credit reporting. There's a loophole. The laws are hundreds of pages long. The laws are hundreds of pages long. So, but what I'm teaching you, we are not, let me repeat, we are not a credit repair company. And what I'm talking about is not something that the standard credit repair companies are offering. They send out some really great standard letters and they will get debt removed from your credit report. Excuse me, they're not going to get judgments removed. They're not going to get bankruptcies removed. They're not going to get student loans removed. It's just not, it's a standard credit repair company can't do that, okay, unless they have knowledge of these two laws that govern credit reporting. So our program actually uses these laws and the loophole that is in these laws that will cause the companies, the creditors, to remove this information from your credit report.
And so
Even
again,
if,
it's really great to know that you're providing your clients with this information. You're providing your clients with the legality and the legal terminology, and you're providing them with the legal statutes so that, again, they're able to do this confidently and understand and know that they're not in any way doing anything that they shouldn't be, anything against the law. All of this is 100% above board and legal. So that is what really,
right,
really drew me to this program.
it's legal, it's 100% ethical, right? We're using the laws, the same laws that the creditors are using against you to be calling you, to be harassing you, to be selling your debt right at the end and to somebody else who can then add it to your credit report for another 7 years. We're using those same laws, right? And what I teach you, you don't have to talk to these creditors. There's not any phone calls that have to be made. Okay, so I'm teaching my clients now a process that they follow that gets all of these, every negative. Now, some people are going to be stubborn and some people are going to need to go, my clients have to go through step 2, step 3, step 4, but ultimately it is removed.
So
Okay,
once these
credit,
things are removed from your report, talk about your other program so
right.
how the next program is going to be such an add-on to the last program and how it's really, really going to benefit it and how they tie in, together.
So the last program is called Get Credit, right? So,
Credit.
so when we're looking at your overall credit score, right? 30% of your credit score is based on how much debt you owe. So if you can increase the amount of credit that you have access to, it automatically, of course, decreases the percentage of what you owe, right? So
Right.
if you're wise enough to increase your credit score by your credit availability by $10,000 and still live within the means of the credit that you've been living in, your credit score will increase. So the Get Credit program shows you the two techniques. That's all that the program offers is two techniques. Technique one shows you how to get up to $10,000 in credit. $10,000 in credit. This is not credit that is associated with department stores. We're talking about MasterCard, Visa, Discover, like major credit cards. Credit cards that you can write checks on and pull the credit and pull the cash from. Okay? The second technique that we teach is what we call the shopping cart technique, which we give you about 15 different companies that do not do a hard pull, because hard pulls pull your credit down. Okay,
Right.
so these companies do soft pulls on your credit, and when they do the soft pulls, they will offer you like $500 initially of pre-approved credit. But imagine tomorrow you have 10 or 15 credit cards that you've been approved for, all of which are giving you $500 at each department store. And then you have 4 cards that give you a total of $5,000 to $10,000 in credit. Your credit score is going to go through the roof, even if you never, ever use them. So the Get Credit program teaches you how and gives you all the information on the companies that you apply to, how to apply, and the technique to use, what we call the shopping cart technique, how to do that so that you can actually receive legitimate credit from those companies, because they don't do hard pulls on your credit report. So you can actually apply to every single one of them and it not be detrimental to your credit, but it will be a benefit to your credit in the next 30 days, because suddenly in 30 days, you now have 10 or 15 new credit cards that you have access to. And that 30% that I was talking about in terms of your debt to credit access ratio will dramatically decrease.
So,
Your credit score will go through the roof.
so LaMeel, tell us again where we can find out all this information, how we can get started, what we need to do.
Right. So if you go to LaMeel, LaMeel.com, click on courses, right? The 2 new programs are right there. They're probably like the first 2 programs that are there. You probably have to go to the second page to see the manifesting an 800 credit score CPN program, that as well as the VIP program, but it's all on LaMeel.com. Under courses, you'll see all of my courses on manifesting money. And then, of course, you have the option of clicking the button to connect with LaMeel and ask me any questions, schedule an appointment to talk to me, and make sure you're getting into the program that is right for you.
Okay, that was one of my next questions is how do you determine which program you should go into? I mean, it sounds to me like it'd be great if you started off with the VIP CPN program and kind of use those other 2 programs in conjunction so that you can maybe fix your regular credit score number while you're living off of this CPN program. So do you have something, that kind of ties all 3 of those programs together?
Right. So if you contact us, and talking to myself or one of my, really amazing support staff, we're going to help you figure that out. The idea, though, is that if your credit is in the shithole and you have a lot of judgments, a lot of debt, then you're going to want to go through the CPN program. Then you're going to want to go to clear your credit and get credit, right? If you have good credit, like and I don't mean good, but like satisfactory. So you're talking about your numbers are in the 600. I don't recommend that you get a CPN. If you're in the 600s or anywhere in that 600 range, I recommend that you clear your credit and get credit. So we have a program that includes the CPN, the clear credit, the get credit, and then we also have a program that is all about the clear credit and get credit with just those two programs. So it really depends on where you are, right, with your credit score and what you need. But you can use that button and schedule an appointment with us and talk to somebody, in terms of if you're not sure where you need to be at, at this point, or where you need to start from. But definitely, if you already know that your credit's in the crapper, then we have an amazing three program package. If your credit is semi-okay and you have access to some credit, then you're going to want to do the 2 program package.
Okay, that's awesome. And so well, I know that mostly what we wanted to talk about today was the CPN program, but I'd also like to touch on your coaching business because, again, stumbling upon the CPN program and having conversations with you and talking about money mindset has really, really, again, been so impactful for me, has helped me tremendously, but just changing my my view about money and how it affects other areas of your life. Talk a little bit about your coaching programs. What are the coaching programs that you offer?
So my main coaching program, I have a group coaching about manifesting money. And like I said, I originally started off as a life coach, right? And so I coach on all the areas of life. And then I turned into a manifesting life coach, right? Because I figured that if I taught you how to manifest, you could live the life of your dreams. But the biggest block that people have in their life is money. So if you can manifest money and specifically cash in your life, right, then everything else is a breeze. And a lot of people can manifest things and not cash. And so cash has the biggest energy for our society. If you live in the US, it has a lot of negative connotation to it. And there's so many different things. So my coaching program, my group coaching program, is all about money manifesting. And that's what I teach people how to do, is how to manifest like real cash, not like something that's equivalent to cash, but how to manifest money when you need it, when you want it, in the increments that you want it, and the frequency that you want it.
And so the great thing for me about joining the CPN program was the fact that you offer some of the coaching information and you offer that money mindset and that allowing abundance right there in that VIP program. And so it was just so life-changing.
Right, because ideally is that, wherever you go, there you are. So whatever, I can show you how to get out of debt. I can show you how to wipe away every negative thing on your credit report. But at the end of the day, if you are still the same person that created that debt, you're going to create that debt again.
Right, so absolutely.
Allow abundance, and the money manifesting coaching programs are really designed to help people change their relationship with money. Okay, so yes, now I have new credit. Now I've got 800 credit scores, not just with one CPN number, but with my social security number. So I have twice as much access to credit as the average person. So what is my relationship with money? I'm going to spend it all up and be in debt and get again in a year and a half, or am I going to create this love relationship with money so that I can pay my debt and I can live within my means and I can be happy and I can live the life of my dreams? And that's what the coaching program is all about, is teaching you how to create that love relationship and making money your best friend, and co-creating new opportunities with money, so that you constantly have money flowing into your life so that you can pay for the things that your new credit levels on your CPN and your SSN are allowing you to have.
That is amazing. And so if you go to LaMeel.com, that's LAMEEL.com, you're going to see that her little tagline is the manifesting bitch. And I have to tell you, so she and I have this running joke because she has a program called Be Bitch, right? And every time we talk about this program, it's an amazing program, but I always screw up the anagram. So being bitch is a wonderful thing. You know, being a bitch has had in the past such a negative connotation, but she's made it into something that was so beautiful and so wonderful. And so every time I say it incorrectly. So she kind of knows that I'm going to screw it up right now. So being bitch is about being beautiful, intelligent, talented, let's see, courageous, and creative, creative, and honest.
Yes.
Did I get it right?
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly
it. The first time, I have to tell you guys, seriously, this is like the first time I ever gotten it right. Like I usually get the first thing, the B, I, and the T, right? And then I just make something up for the C and the H, like cunning and a hunter. Like I just make up stuff. So, but LaMeel is the manifesting bitch. And if there's something you want to know about manifesting, she is your girl. And I'm telling you right now, if you follow her programs, if you get involved in her coaching program, it will make a difference in your life. I mean, 100% guaranteed it will make a difference in your life. I'm so glad that she took time out of her schedule tonight. It's Friday night. I know she's probably got a million things planned. Look at how gorgeous she is.
Got a party going on.
She's got a party going on back there. She's got all the balloons and everything. She's got party on her mind. So she took some time out of her party schedule to talk to us right now. And LaMeel, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you. I really, really do.
Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to helping anybody that needs help. And I'm really glad that people are taking their time to watch us and ask questions. And, you know, I'm very, very appreciative considering it is Friday night.
It is Friday night. So before we go, LaMeel, where else can we find you? We can find you on LaMeel TV. We can find you at LaMeel.com. But don't you have a podcast that you do now?
Right. So now on LaMeel.com, if you click on the link that says LaMeel Radio, you can listen to my Money Manifesting radio show every week. You can find me on Instagram, where
Periscope.
And Periscope and Facebook. I have some Facebook groups that you can find. We're going to start a information CPN group that everybody can join. We have a CPN group for specifically our clients. There is a Manifesting Your Dream Life Facebook group that you can join that's completely free. And I think that's it. And I'm on Twitter, and I'm usually on all the social media as LaMeel.
Great. Well, I just, again, wanted to thank you for, you know, taking time out of your schedule. Tell the kids I said hi. And I look forward to talking to you again. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye.